We're here because free speech is under attack. We're here because people are being convinced that socialism works. We're here because people are being judged guilty until proven innocent. We are fighting back with facts. This is not a safe zone, so buckle up, Buttercup. This is the raw, naked truth.
Debt ceiling, police reform, CRT, and more. Welcome to the Raw Naked Truth. I'm your host, Eric Lopkin, and here's the news you need to know. The White House has backed down on statements that they would not negotiate on spending. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy said Sunday he would meet with President Biden on Wednesday to discuss a reasonable and responsible way to raise the debt ceiling to prevent a potentially devastating default and make spending cuts Republicans want. The Treasury Department has said the federal government has bumped into its borrowing limit and resorted to extraordinary accounting measures to avoid a default for about 5 months, buying time for Republicans and Democrats to reach an agreement. Biden has said he isn't going to let anyone use the full faith and credit of the United States as a bargaining chip. McCarthy said he and Biden need to sit down together, work out an agreement. Thousands of people protested in cities across the country over the weekend, demanding police reforms after Memphis police released video showing officers beating Tyree Nichols, a 29-year-old black man who later died. A group of protesters in Milwaukee walked through the city, stopping briefly at the Wisconsin City's police department. One of the organizers, Peace Action Wisconsin, said on its website that it was demanding justice for Nichols and all victims of police violence. We are demanding accountability and transparency from the police. Nichols was pulled over, allegedly for reckless driving, on January 7th. The video shows 5 officers, also black, pulling him from his car, then beating and kicking him for 3 minutes after he tried to run away. The officers were fired, and last week they were charged with second-degree murder. A drone attack that damaged a warehouse in a military complex in Iran on Saturday was conducted by the Israeli intelligence agency Mossad, according to sources and reported by the Wall Street Journal and New York Times. It was not immediately clear how much damage the strike caused. Iran identified the facility as an ammunition manufacturing plant, but independent intelligence analyst Ronen Solomon, author of the Intel Times blog, said the blast's small size suggested the target could have been a lab or military logistics site. Iran researches and produces missiles at that facility. Russia uses Iranian-made drones and has been seeking its missiles to use in Ukraine. Boeing will deliver its last 747 on Tuesday, ending the 53-year run of the aircraft maker's original jumbo jet, Reuters reported on Sunday. The company will deliver the last 747, a freighter version of the plane, to Atlas Air. The 747 was designed in the late 1960s as demand for mass travel was rising. The jet was the first with twin aisles, and its upper deck gave it easily recognized humped appearance, plus room for club space that added to the luxury for high-end travelers. Recently, the number of the planes sold decreased as newer aircraft with updated technology became popular. Only 44 passenger versions of the 747 remain in use, according to CNN, who cited data from analytics firm Cerium. Mayor Eric Adams of New York City forced all of New York City employees into a radical critical race theory-inspired training, according to a copy of the training reviewed by Fox News Digital. The mandatory training was sent to all New York City employees with a March 6 deadline. The training provides all New York City employees with a framework to understand the importance of racial equity in the workplace, the email said. The controversial lens expressed in the training is called critical race theory, which holds that America is and was always structurally racist. CRT adds that the U.S. was designed from its start to systematically oppress minority groups in order to uphold systems of power for the dominant culture or white racial group. CRT also maintains an oppressor versus oppressed lens of society and classifies people into groups based on supposed privilege. The training also says that there was no scientific basis to race and that it was invented to create a system of exclusion and oppression. That's the raw naked truth. You can catch every episode of The Raw Naked Truth at xvadio.com/podcasts, the Apple Podcasts app, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Amazon Music, Audible, and other platforms that respect freedom of speech. We'll see you next time.